All right. When I was asked to share my story with you, I had a hard time choosing where to start. But I decided to focus on the progress of my faith journey since I've attended Westhope. As I look back, I think one of the biggest spiritual influencers in my life was my mom. She was a model of genuine loving kindness and gentleness, tenderness and empathy, especially towards our family. It was a gift to be nourished by her love throughout my childhood, and she truly had a humble servant's heart. However, my mom kept a very small inner circle, basically just our family. And she struggled with forgiveness, and she was suspicious of any outsiders. Having been raised going to church, she despised Christianity because she thought it was full of hypocrites. In contrast, I always felt drawn to attend church on my own. Jesus' message of genuine love and forgiveness always called to me and gave me hope. While my home was safe and stable, my parents didn't offer me much wisdom about how to understand myself or how to navigate the world around me. I was very shy around strangers, so I became a keen observer of people. I longed for acceptance in the larger world, so I watched and mimicked the behavior of those who seemed well-liked and successful at school and social gatherings. At church, I learned how to act like a good Christian girl so I could belong. At school, I learned how to succeed at academics and how to get along with different groups of people. But I became a bit of a chameleon, adopting various identities: the churchgoer, the good student, Asian girl, athlete, party goer, sarcastic humorist. It bothered me that many Christians didn't seem exceptionally loving and kind or genuinely at peace. There were also many rules of behavior, both spoken and unspoken, which made me uncomfortable revealing my authentic self at church. As a result, most of my better friends were not Christians. However, I wanted to follow the truth and to strive for goodness according to Christian rules. When it came to measuring my own faith, I assumed that my doubts were my own fault. After all, who was I to judge since I was brought up in a non-Christian home? Perhaps I just needed to spend more time in daily prayer and Bible study and fellowship so I wasn't so distracted by the world. I felt it was my responsibility to strengthen my faith by developing a deeper intellectual understanding and greater obedience to the Word of God. When I got to college, I continued to be a split personality, having my church friends, but also enjoying a diversity of other people, including many ardently non-Christian friends. I think my greatest conflict was the mindset of most Christians that it was our job to convert people to Christ so they could be saved. I found comfort and acceptance in the church, but deep down, I couldn't truly embrace the doctrine of Jesus as the only way to joy and peace. And I rankled at the Christian attitude and language of superiority. Before I came to Westhope, I tended to be a slightly different person depending on the context. I had my church persona, using the appropriate language and understanding of shared beliefs. I learned how to perform professionally as the doctor and the boss. I was more or less obedient and submissive when around my parents. I was competitive and outgoing with my workout friends. But I was still insecure and anxious about keeping my different worlds separate. And I tended to show up as the person people expected me to be, while hiding the parts that they might find unacceptable. Being a good girl was part of my DNA, while showing anger or other not nice behavior. 2, you must share the good news with people and save them. 3, you must study the Bible as the inerrant Word of God. 4, you must raise your children to love God and the church. Well, I have failed in every one of these requirements and have often felt guilty and sometimes ashamed. I even used to envy and admire those who succeeded so happily to live within their Christian ghettos. So part of my healing has been finding a Christian community that doesn't require me to abide by doctrines which seem antithetical to the message of love modeled by Jesus. In fact, my faith is not dependent on exercising my mind alone, but also transforming my body, heart, and spirit. Westhope has helped me to accept myself as one whole person. I had to come to love and accept my whole self, just as I am. As Eric says, I am the beloved of God. I am grateful for the Westhope community who strives to be genuine in their love and faith and encourages me in my uniqueness. We are quite imperfect, but I can feel the Spirit at work among us. Thank you for being a part of my journey to healing and wholeness. Thank you.